Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Bhargavi Rawal and I am a fashion mentor. This video I am going to show you how to solve Nift paper. So before you start paper, it is very important that you allocate equal amount of time to all the questions. Usually they ask 3 questions, that means, and it's a 3-hour paper, that means 1 hour per question, right? Starting first with the first question. So the first question was, illustrate the dress of a tourist guide of the state you belong to. Label the accessories and fabric details. Now understand, this question consists of three very important points. First is you have to design, that means you have to create a new design for a tourist guide. Second important part of this question is the inspiration. So they have asked you to take an inspiration from the state. You could pick up any state you belong to, either it could be the state which you belong to, or I think you can pick up any state. It's better if you stick to your own state, right? And third, very important, is when they ask you to give the details, please don't forget to give all the details. Here also they have asked you to do give the details about the fabric used and the accessories used. So if you're designing, please understand that do you have tourist guide. So pick up any monuments, tourist place, identify with that place. So say for example, if you're taking Jaipur and Jaipur Palace, so of course you will take inspiration from might be those bandhani pagdis what they have, or that typical mooch what they have, or it could be just the particular print of that state, or embroidery of that state, or the fabric details of that state, right? So most important in this question, design a tourist. Now when you're designing something for a tourist, understand that guy is going to be on his feet throughout the day. So you cannot give them high heels, even if you're designing for a tourist boy or a girl, any which ways, you cannot give them high heels. A sports shoe or something which is more comfortable. He's going to be walking and the full day hard work. So please understand that the garment has to be very easy to wear. So what are the things you need to consider when you're designing a garment for a tourist? The most important thing, his work hours. Second thing, comfort. Again, depending upon the climate, the weather. So breathable fabric, it's an outdoor job, so again the fabric has to be something like a dark color which does not get spoiled or does not stain so easily. So the company's logo would be there in his uniform if at all you're designing for a company's guide, or even if it could be a state logo. Try to make your design as realistic and as much details. So you can have a bandhani fabric design for the cap. Of course, you're not going to give the pagdi, right? Because it's not feasible. A guide would not be able to carry pagdi throughout the day. Of course, it will look very cute if he wears a pagdi, but something like a cap which has got a bandhani thing, or might be some design which is an amalgamation of pagdi and a cap, that will look very cute. You can take inspiration from the fabric. So you can have those, might be a jacket or a vest which is made up of this block printed fabric of the Jaipuri fabric, right? So anything, take an inspiration from the fabric, from the embroidery. Might be it's just got some simple buttons which are meenakari buttons. So anything is fine. Creative elements in his garment. So even if you're giving a regular dangri, denim dangri, that is fine. So if you're from MP, you could have this simple gondat on the denim dangri, the pocket, whatever, right? But inculcate those ideas. That is very, very important. That is where you're getting your mark. And last but not the least, identify the fabric. Again, it has to be a breathable fabric. Write down what fabric you're using, if it's denim, if it's cotton, if it's casement. So it cannot be a delicate fabric like a silk or a raw silk, which would be very, it's everyday wear. So it cannot be a delicate fabric. Similarly, identify the accessories. Now, when I say accessories, he might be carrying a backpack or a fanny bag, and all those things. His pen might have a logo, or his tab where he has to have the list of the tourists who are in his team. Many times they have whistle, they have this flag. So all these are the accessories which you cannot afford to miss. Understand? So look at the question from a very different perspective, and believe me, if you do this, you are going to get good marks. So every question you attempt, try to add the details, try to make it as much realistic. Go back into your memory bank, identify, remember when you had seen a tourist guide. Maybe you have not seen personally, but some movies you have seen. So you know what a tourist guide, what kind of dresses they wear. So coming to question number 2. Question: illustrate an expedition or a trip in 4 steps from start to end, depicting the feelings and emotion. Now when you talk about this question has 2 to 3 very important things. First, it has to be a 4 step. So you have to have all the 4 steps nicely classified. Another very important thing, the start and the end. So the whole trip has to have the starting point and the ending point. Very, very important. So when you came back, you were tired, or when you started, you were all excited. And the most important point on this question is depicting your emotions and your feeling. So it's not only about what your journey was and how you traveled and where you traveled. Again, they have said not only a regular travel, it's an expedition or a regular trip, right? So when I say expedition, it could be a regular trek, or you've gone for camping, overnight camping, or a regular picnic, a trip kind of a thing, right? So all the 4 steps are very important, and emotions and feelings are also very important. Again, since they have not asked to color it, it's okay if you don't color, but give as much details as possible. Try to make your try to make your answer as different and as interesting as possible. Now usually what I tell my student is always add a story, create a drama, create some create a character, like make it as much dramatic as possible, because that's how you're going to that's how your illustration is going to be more interesting. It's not just simple that gaye car mein baithe khana khaya wapas aa gaye, so then there's no fun. So create some drama, create some story. Say for example, you gone and there was this car break, and then you were vomiting, or then there was this stray dog and you had the dog started walking with you, or something, so create a story. It always adds more weightage to your answer. Again, emotions and feeling are the most important things. So try to create as much emotion, try to have those ups and downs, inculcate all that thing. It will make it look more interesting, right? And since they've said not to color, so don't color it, it's fine. But if you have time, please go ahead and color. Since it's a 4-step thing, I would advise you to work more on each and every block. Another thing, before you start, always make rough sketches. So create a story, say which block is going to talk about what, create that kind of environment, do your rough sketches so you know how you're going to do. Again, each block has to have like a 3D effect, so add all that. So question number 3 is about designing a poster. Now understand, when you're designing a poster, the color plays a very important role. Understand what colors you're going to use. Again, this is a communication design. So what are you trying to communicate? What are the points you need to communicate? And another very important thing is how your poster is going to be different. Now believe me, I have seen this answer. I've given this test paper to more than 40-50 students, and at least 50 to 60% of them have always shown a finger with the black dot. So imagine if I'm checking 5,000 papers, and then each and every paper has this finger with that black mark. It's going to be so cliche, so you have to think out of the box. You have to chuck out all your initial ideas, because the first 10 ideas are always the most common idea. I always tell my student that write down your first 5 ideas and then tear it off, because they are very common, they are very cliche, and it's only after your 6th, 7th and 8th idea the real creative juices starts working. So please make it a point that you don't use your initial 4-5 ideas ever if you want to stand out, because your first 4-5 ideas are going to be common ideas which everybody is going to do, right? Another thing is, if you're talking about say for example, it's poster about voting, So try to make it more realistic now. Have a logo of the party, write down the date when there is going to be voting. So you're educating. It's a communication design. So you're educating a person that this is the day when there's going to be voting. Please keep yourself free. Go and vote. It's your responsibility to vote. So there is a communication. Make it very clear. Again, poster usually has a line typo. Making poster, please work on your typo. Your typo has to be very good. Work on your baseline, your punchline. Create a slogan which always adds. A poster usually has a slogan, so make it a habit that whenever there's a poster question, think of a nice catchy slogan. That always helps. Last but not the least, don't forget to include the write-up. Write-up is very, very important. If they have asked you, they have allocated some 5-10 marks specially for write-up. So don't forget to write. If they have asked, you have to write it, and that is where most of the students make mistake. They they say that okay, they'll write at the end, and then फिर time नहीं मिला और लिखा ही नहीं. So don't do that. Please understand. There are marks allocated for write-up. If this video was interesting and helpful to you, please let me know. I will keep on solving more of this past Nift paper. So subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share this video. Bye bye for now and keep practicing.